So I'm aware that I kind of left you hanging, but quite a lot of things happened. One of them being almost at the gates of heaven. Okay, I was more at the highway to hell, let's not lie here. Oh, that was so bad. Uh, uh, um, I have really a lot of things to say, that's why I'm going to divide this video into two videos, because in the span of 3 months, really a lot of things happened. Spoiler alert, I'm fine. I'm in my home, as you can see. I'm after my transplantation, everything is fine now, but it really wasn't some time ago. I'm going to start from the beginning, and the way I'm going to divide this is I'm going to talk about what happened before my transplantation in this video, and in the next video I'm going to talk what happened after my transplantation and the transplantation itself. And hopefully these are the last two videos on this whole leukemia topic. I mean, updates wise, I think I'm going to make some more videos about leukemia, like overall, but it will be more structured and more thought out. These updates that I'm making are more like a therapy for me, because I'm really talking about what happened, and I'm just kind of cleansing myself in a way out of hospital, out of cancer, out of this whole place. Like, I let everything out and I feel way better after all. So afterwards, so that's why I'm making those, and I hope that there is a person somewhere. I mean, no, if there is a person somewhere that just found out that she or he has leukemia, I hope that these videos can show that you can really hit the rock bottom and be alive and be okay and still have really bright future, even though I cannot even really put this into words. That's why I want to make more structured video after these two updates that are left. Okay, I think I should get to the video. Great start. As I said in my last video, I was about to go either for transplant or for another chemo. We didn't know how my bone marrow will react. Sadly, it reacted as I was hoping it wouldn't. As I was scared it would. Meaning I had second relapse. Yes. So if you didn't know, I had a relapse after my second chemo. Then I had my third chemo, and it was really strong one. It was reinduction. I hope I said it right. It was really tough one. Really. I felt really bad after it. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty tough. After this chemo, they released me and they said that I'm going to the transplantation ward, where hopefully I will have my transplantation, but there could be a scenario where I have a relapse again, meaning I have to go down to the hemato-oncology ward, because it was like one floor up transplantology ward and one floor down hemato-oncology ward. And that's why I'm like making this gesture and saying I'm going up or down. And yes, I went to the transplantology ward. I gave all my things. You had to like have 12 completes of pajamas, 8 completes of like toothbrushes and shoes. Forgot the word. And they would give it all to like their own. I really should be more prepared. I'm sorry. And like it would be subtitles help me. I'm really too lazy to translate this now. Okay, I'm going to have fun while editing this for sure. And I gave it all there, and it was very heartbreaking saying goodbyes to my family. Like, first time I saw my parents cry, and I don't know why. I mean, I know why. It was like new place, new doctors. Even though it's the same building, these wards function completely like differently. They did not like rely on each other. Like they have hematology have their own doctors, their own nurses, uh, and transplantology have like new stuff as well, and everything was so new. Like the rules were so new, even though technically it shouldn't be because it's the same place, but it really wasn't. As and that's why I think we all cried down, and it was just heartbreaking. We didn't know what will happen, what will go down. So that was sad, so scary, but they finally like the doctor came, and like I was laying there for like, and I stayed there for 3 days. And on the second day they did my biopsy, and wow, usually I have my biopsy from my hip, from my back, and even though it hurts like hell, it doesn't, like it's not, it's it's bad, but it's not that bad. That's what I'm trying to say. But this doctor, for some reason, really wanted, like she only said, she said that she only does it from the bridge, and oh whoa whoa, it was, I don't think I ever screamed in pain so much. uh, it was terrible. It just was very very painful, and I was screaming in pain. I was crying, and it was just horrible. After that, the second day, the results came, and relapse again. So I packed all my things, had to go down on the first floor to the hemat-oncology ward again. I was back there, and I had to go through another really really strong chemo. And they did also, while I was like getting my chemo, they were giving me injections in my hand, and this type of injections, and it makes it, you usually have it when you're about to go home, but your bone marrow is not really working. So it's kind of like it makes your bone marrow work. That's what I'm trying to say. Like your blood results are going up again because they are so low after chemo, but they are making it go better. Yes, if you actually understand me, then I'm like, because I don't even understand myself. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like I know what I want to say, but I can't really put it into words. Like, okay, never mind. I hope you understood me. So, I was getting those injections, and I was getting this chemo, and these injections were supposed to help this chemo. Like it was supposed to make it even more stronger. Like. Work even harder, even stronger, even tougher. I don't know how to say it. Let me tell you something about my roommates. I was there with two older ladies. With one I knew. We were in the same room for like 2 or 3 chemos. I liked this woman. She was older, but she knew what League of Legends is, and she was like very. She was just fun to talk to, even though she was kind of the one thing I really she was acknowledging her farts. I'm sorry. She was like farting like crazy, and I was in the bed next to her, and next to me was a wall. So it was either her farting self or a wall. So I was kind of out of breath sometimes, but I mean she was nice. And another lady that was so in the room with us, I didn't knew. Oh my god, she was. I don't know how someone can be almost like 50 and doesn't know how to behave. Like I understand that we all have cancer and we all are very sick, and have chemos, and I really understand that because I'm going through it as well. But I don't know, whenever I wanted to throw up or shit, I would go to the toilet, okay? She wouldn't. Like, I understand that there are times where you just cannot help it, so you just vomit on the floor. I'm sorry, TMI, but this happens in these hospital rooms. But the nurses came and like cleaned it all, and like, but she was just lazy. She didn't want to go to the toilet to wash herself. I think she wasn't really washing herself for 1.5 week. And when you are not able to wash yourself, you just ask the nurse to come in and she washes you. And then like other people go to the hallway, or just if you're not able to, they just stay in the room and just kind of like, look away. But she had none of it, okay? She was just laying in her bed, not wanting to do anything, and she was asking, for example, me to, like, I don't know, make her a tea or something, or pick something up for her. It is very dangerous for me to touch, like, we are not even allowed to handshake each other because of the bacteria. So there she was, like, she wasn't even asking me to do stuff for her, she was demanding it. And I think I had enough very quickly, and I just told her off. I know, like, in Poland, it's very, 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 very important to pay respect to the older people. But at some point, I just had enough because it felt like she was using me because just because I was younger. But I had cancer too. Like, what doesn't she understand? Especially that I was relapsing, and I've had stronger chemo than her. She was just pain in the ass. Plus, she was very unpleasant person to be around. She was lying so much. She like told us. I won't forget that she was like, oh, I have a new sports car, brand new sports car, Mercedes. And then one lady asked her, what kind of car do you have? And she was like, new one, expensive one, but she couldn't really name the brand or anything. Any specifics. She will just change the topic immediately. Or she told us that her daughters are are doctors. They are about to be doctors. They are in uni, but they're very smart. Then I googled her daughter on the Facebook, and wow, and I searched her and I looked up her daughter on the Facebook, and she was not a medicine major at all. She was just lying in our faces. I don't know why. What was the point? I have no idea to this day. But I was sometimes about to cry because I was in the room with her. I told her off a few times because I know it's not really, I'm not really supposed to tell older people off. She's older than my mom. It is not really a thing that younger people are telling older people off, but I just had enough. I really had enough. And other people in the room were also done with her. And like, we were leaving the room just to talk about her in the hallway because we just couldn't be in the same room with her. We were so done. So that was our roommate, and she was not really perfect. Hygiene wise, I think she was also touching my bed. My bed was next to the toilet, and when she actually got to the toilet, she was like touching my bed when she was getting out of it. And sepsis, hello. And one day shit went down with me. Lighting, hello. I have no lighting. Wait, I am sorry for the lighting change. Day has suddenly ended. Here's the most scary part. Ironically, on the day of my birthday, 26th of September, shit went down. I mean, not the exact day, but the day after, but it was like the pre-day, and I already felt like crap. On this day, I started getting fevers, and I've had my CVC changed. And I thought that I'm just getting another sepsis, but I've had sepsis before, and they were never like, they were scary because I've had fevers and I just felt like crap, but it wasn't anything that scary except the name sepsis, but I wouldn't have guessed that it can take a really dramatic turn, and it took that turn on the next day. In the hospital around like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., they always change your bedding. And I said that since I was feeling very weak, I asked the nurse and to change it for me, because they always like, you help them or you change it yourself when you are feeling fine. When you're not feeling fine, they change it for you, and then that's what I asked for. And I sat down on like the chair next to it, and I was just sitting and she was changing it. And I remember that I suddenly felt like I'm falling from this chair. I was basically passing out. And one woman said that, and one lady in the room said that, watch, like, to the nurse to catch me because I was falling, and she like quickly left, like, throw the bedding, and like and catched me and laid me there, checked my blood pressure, and I think it was, I don't remember clearly, but it was very low. I think it was like 60 on 40 something. No, it wasn't 60 on 40. It was like 70 on 50 or 60 on 50. It was very, very low, something around that. I was feeling bad in the after that as well. In the night I've had fevers. I remember that this time around I was getting cold. I was shaking like crazy. I couldn't warm myself up. I was feeling so bad. I remember I had no power to even turn on the other side. Like taking a deeper breath was such an exercise for me. I never experienced something like that in my life. I cannot even describe it so you can like get the image clearly, but this is something terrible, and this is something very scary and terrifying. Not being able to even move your hand. I was so weak, I was shaking so much, I wasn't able to cover myself with like a blanket or something. I was not able to do that. Yeah, so that was happening. And the next day, on the 27th of September, my doctor came in. They were checking my blood pressure all the time, and it stayed very low. And he said that since my blood pressure is very low, they're going to like hook me up, connect me to the monitors. And whenever they did that, like whenever the monitoring just came to someone, whenever they did that, this person usually died next day. So I reacted with panic, because I thought that, wow, since I am in the need of monitors, then this is basically I'm dying, because it always happened when someone had the monitors, they always died next day because they were feeling so bad. So the monitors came in. I was all hooked up. And yeah, and they were like checking the monitors checked my blood pressure every half an hour or something. It was very low. It wasn't never it never was above 100. I think it was always like 70 on 50. Like, I usually have very low blood pressure, but it's not that low. And I think that at some point I thought that I'm out of this panic, out of everything. At some point I just felt like I can't take any breaths anymore, and I feel like I started panicking. I started sweating. I couldn't stay in one place. I was moving on my bed like a freaking fish out of the water. I couldn't take any breaths, so I called help immediately. Doctors, everyone came in, and I was like, help me, I can't take any breaths anymore, I can't breathe, please help me. And they were looking at me like, but you're breathing. And I was like, I'm obviously not breathing, what are you talking about? And I just passed out. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but like whenever I think about that moment, I thought that I'm not being able to breathe, but the doctor and the nurses said that I was breathing just fine. That it felt like I'm dying. It just felt like I'm dying. I think at this very moment I was praying, not even to survive, but since I'm a Christian, was praying to God to forgive my sins, so I wouldn't go to hell. Like, I'm laughing, but I know it sounds very, very illogical and very stupid, but yeah, I think at this point when I had my I thought that I was not able to breathe, my blood pressure drastically came very low. It was like 50 on 40 or 30, something like that. So it was drastically dropped, and I think that was the reason why I felt it. Like, I felt it. That's what they were telling me. That first time for the first time ever, my blood pressure was so low. That's why I thought that I'm not able to breathe. So I woke up. I don't know if I passed out or if I fell asleep. I don't know what happened, but I just blacked out for a couple of hours, and then anesthesiolog came with huge needle in his hand. Yeah, this doctor was he was a piece of shit. I'm sorry. You are supposed to like change your clothing, change your everything when you came to the work, we are coming to the ward. He was like in a dirty coat with like dirty shoes. Excuse me, but I'm about to die and you are bringing in even more bacteria. Thank you. And I didn't know that, and I'm very scared of needles. I shouldn't be at this point, but I think I'm even more scared of them, and everything hurts me every time. And he was supposed to do gasometry, which is basically taking blood out of the artery, and you are taking it out of either your hand or your groin. Yeah. So he tried both. I think he was not gentle at all, let me tell you. He was like stabbing me with this needle, and it was a huge ass needle, and I was screaming, I was crying, I was begging for him to stop, but he wouldn't. I think he tried doing gasometry for 7 or 8 times. Then he realized that he doesn't see the arteries. So then the ultrasound, he thought that it was a better idea to bring ultrasound rather than freaking stab me 10 times. But even the ultrasound really didn't work. He just, I don't know. I think at this point there was like 4 doctors like above my bed, and they were just looking for. It was very dramatic. It was like a scene from a freaking horror or something. It was like a scene from a movie, and it was just very scary. It really felt like fighting for life at this point. And he finally did it, even though he ended it with like saying, I don't know if it is blood from artery. It looks like it's blood from the vein, but we'll see. But thankfully he never came back. And then my parents came in out of nowhere. I didn't tell them that this was going down. I know it sounds probably very stupid for me, because I wasn't talking to them at all. I just didn't want them to see me in this state. But doctors called them, and he said this obviously with different words, but he said that not that I'm dying, but he said that I'm dying. He basically said that my condition got very got worse very quickly, and that they should be here right now. That's what he said. So basically he said that I'm dying and they should be with me in my last moments. That's what I take it for. And yeah, everyone was scared shitless. That's what I'm going to say, because I'm very young, and when something like that is happening to a younger person, I think that it takes a bigger toll on all of people. Because there was like this guy, I think he was at my age, or he was my age, or he was like 1 year older or something, and he had shit went down with him as well, and everyone was also very scared and taking it very emotionally. And even the nurse that was around me, like that was with me when all of these things were going down, she said to me, like, my parents overheard it, that she was just very scared, and she said she's going to pray for me. And she even came next day, even though it was not, she had a free day, but she just wanted to check on me if I'm alive, if I'm doing fine. I gained 10 kilograms in 2 days because they were giving me so much water just for my heart to beat again. And I forcefully asked my parents to leave for the night, because I just didn't want them to stay with me in the night. I wanted for them to sleep at least a little bit. So they went home, and apparently in the night, I don't know, because I was basically unconscious. I was not really sleeping, but I was not I was not woken up as well. I was just I was in between, if that makes any sense. But my blood pressure was 40/20. 40/20. Yeah, so that's basically almost not alive. So that's fun. That was very fun. And yeah, and honestly, that was the lowest point. And with each and every day, my condition was getting better. It was like, I think I stayed for a little over the month, and then my doctor said that what they're planning is for me to not release me to go home for a week and then to go for a transplant, or to check if my they were not even planning to do a biopsy. And they and he said that I'm going to go to the transplantology ward immediately. So I did that, and then I learned that they are going to do biopsy even if I'm relapsing again. Neither as they're going to just yeah, I said that wrong, didn't I? They're going to do a transplant either less, even if I'm relapsing. And then I learned that I'm relapsing again, and the cancer cells were in my bone marrow my bone marrow was 80%, above 80% cancer. So there was not a lot of bone marrow left. I've had not unusual type of transplantation. It was very high risk, since I was not in the remission, meaning I am very highly to have a relapse after a transplantation. So that's very great, that's very fun, I can't wait, but there is not a relapse yet, so I'm not going to wait for it. I'm just going to assume I'm healthy now. That's what I'm going to choose to believe in, but that's topic for another video. So I've had my transplantation, and I think I should end here. And what happened next is the topic for the next video. Yeah, I very clumsily told you what went down. I don't think I'm not really prepared. I just wanted to let everything out. I hope you understood me somehow. That was my 4th chemo. A very scary one. I basically high-fived death, but I said see you again, and not in the near future. I also have no brows left. I have first time ever I have actually no brows, and no eyelashes. This is all makeup that's going to fall in 2 seconds because I'm getting sweaty. So yeah, I mean, this was the scariest few months in my life. But I lived through it, and I'm a living example that I think you can go through anything in life. You really can go through anything in life. Doctors and nurses are saying that it's a miracle, and they were scared shitless, and because my condition got worse very, very, very quickly, and I just basically hit the rock bottom, and yeah. But I'm alive, and I'm good, and I'm fine now, and I have bright future ahead of me. I really can't wait for it. I have amazing people around me. I have amazing brother. I'm alive thanks to all of these people, and I wouldn't I would die if it wasn't for them. Someone even messaged me right now. Throughout these 7 months that I've had cancer, there wasn't a day where I felt lonely. I felt very loved. I was the type of person that would isolate myself from all of these people, and I would just stay in home. But it was due to the depression and just being a shit person. And I was like ignoring all these people, and I was like, I'm so lonely. I have no friends. I have shit ton of friends that love me and were with me and helped me beat cancer. And it was thanks to them, because even at the worst times, when I just thought that I'm giving up, I can't do this, I was thinking, you stupid bitch, if you don't want to fight for yourself, think about your family, think about your parents. Even people that didn't really know me or barely know me were crying for me, were with me. I never thought that I'm so loved, and I never thought that I have really that huge amount of beautiful people around me. I'm thankful, and I won't give up ever. I will keep on fighting for them, even if not for myself, then for them. I wouldn't be able to look them in the eye if I would give up. I would probably be dead, so I mean, that would be very hard, but what am I talking about? So I'm ending here. The last update ever, hopefully. Not hopefully, the last update ever is, I will film it, and as soon as I can. Right now, even talking seems exhausting for me. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you. I just want to say thank you. This is the reason why I'm making those videos. You are also one of the reasons that I'm still here and I'm making videos. This was very messy video. I know, I am aware, like all my updates. I will try to be more prepared for the last update ever, which will be the next video. And hopefully it will be more pleasant to watch rather than this rambling piece of shit. But yeah, it seems like I can end this video, so I'm just going to stop now. Thank you again. I love you all, and I will see you. Why am I doing this? I will see you in the next video, so goodbye.